Hey everyone, welcome back to Haircut Stories. I'm Lily. If you're new here, welcome to the chair. Last episode, I told you about the haircut that changed my life, about Victoria, my stepmom, and how she showed me what family really means. How she's the reason I became a hairstylist. Today, I want to tell you about one of the scariest days of my life. The day I opened my own salon. I was 28 years old. I'd been working as a stylist for 10 years, 6 years at other people's salons, learning the craft, building my skills. And I'd been dreaming about having my own place for God, probably since I was 16. But dreaming about something and actually doing it, those are two very different things. This is the story of opening day, of my first client, and of the moment I almost gave up before I even started. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let me take you back to a sunny Saturday morning in May, 3 years ago. I didn't sleep the night before. I'm talking like maybe 2 hours total. I just lay there in my apartment, staring at the ceiling, running through every possible disaster scenario. What if nobody shows up? What if my equipment doesn't work? What if I mess up someone's hair on the literal first day and get a terrible review that ruins me before I even start? Anxiety is fun like that. My alarm went off at 5:30 a.m., even though I didn't open until 9. But I wanted to get there early, make sure everything was perfect. I got dressed, black jeans, a silk burgundy blouse that Victoria had bought me as an opening gift, my favorite boots. I'd gotten my own hair cut the week before, maintaining my signature undercut but adding some texture on top. Professional but still me. I looked at myself in the bathroom mirror, gave myself this ridiculous pep talk. You can do this, Lily. You've cut hundreds of people's hair. Thousands, probably. You're good at this. You know what you're doing. But my hands were shaking as I applied my makeup. I grabbed my keys, my bag, my travel mug of coffee that I'd already made too strong because I needed all the caffeine I could get. And I drove to my salon. My salon. Even saying that felt surreal. The salon is in this great neighborhood, kind of artsy, lots of coffee shops and boutiques, young professionals mixed with families. The rent was steep, but the location was perfect. I'd signed the lease 4 months earlier and spent every weekend renovating. Painting the walls this warm cream color. Installing the mirrors, huge, beautiful mirrors with Edison bulb lighting. Picking out the chairs, sleek black leather that could tilt back for shampooing. I'd chosen every detail. The plants in the corners, the art on the walls, mostly local artists, stuff I'd found at flea markets. The sound system, the product shelves, the small waiting area with a velvet couch and a coffee table stacked with magazines. I'd named it Lily's Studio. Simple, clean me. The sign had been installed a week earlier, elegant script in matte black against white. Every time I saw it, I got this flutter in my chest. Pride, terror, a weird mix of both. I pulled into the small parking lot behind the building at 6:15 a.m. The sun was just starting to come up, painting everything in this soft golden light. I unlocked the back door and stepped inside. And just stood there for a moment, breathing in that salon smell. Shampoo and product and possibility. Okay, I said out loud to the empty room. Let's do this. I spent the next 2 hours in full-on nervous energy mode. I double-checked that all my tools were sterilized and organized. Combs, brushes, scissors, razors, clippers, everything in its place. I tested the shampoo bowls, made sure the water temperature was right, the pressure good. I arranged the product shelves for the 3rd time, making sure all the labels faced out. I vacuumed the floor, even though it was already clean. I wiped down the mirrors, even though they didn't have a single smudge. I was basically just vibrating with nervous energy. At 7:45, my phone buzzed. A text from Victoria. Good morning, sweetheart. Today's the day. You're going to be amazing. Call me later and tell me everything. Love you so much, V. I sat down in one of my styling chairs and just stared at that text for a minute. Victoria had been my biggest cheerleader through this whole process. When I told her I wanted to open my own salon, she didn't hesitate. She helped me create a business plan, connected me with her lawyer friend to review the lease, came with me to look at locations. She'd given me a card on the day I signed the lease. Inside, she'd written, "I always knew you'd do something extraordinary. Watching you become who you're meant to be is one of the greatest joys of my life. I'm so proud of you. Love, Victoria." I'd cried reading that card. Hell, I'm getting teary now just thinking about it. I texted her back, "Thank you, I'm terrified but excited. Love you." And then I took a deep breath and unlocked the front door. 8:00 a.m., 1 hour until opening. At 8:30, my friend Rachel showed up. Rachel's been my best friend since 7th grade. She's a marketing manager now, total boss, always impeccably dressed. That morning, she had on a camel coat and high-waisted jeans, her red curly hair styled in a way I'd taught her, carrying a tray with 2 coffees and a bag from the bakery down the street. "Okay," she announced, kicking the door closed behind her. "I brought reinforcements, coffee and croissants. You look like you're about to pass out." I laughed, taking the coffee gratefully. "That obvious." "Babe, you look like you're waiting for a firing squad." She set the bakery bag on the reception desk and pulled me into a hug. "You're going to be fine. Better than fine. You're going to crush this." "What if nobody comes?" I blurted out. Rachel pulled back, gave me this look. "Lily, you have 7 appointments booked today. 7 people who specifically requested you because they know you're talented, plus walk-ins. This neighborhood is busy on Saturdays. You're going to be great." She was right. I did have appointments. I'd reached out to former clients when I was still working at my old salon, told them I was opening my own place. Several had booked immediately. But still, first-day jitters are real. 8:55 a.m. Rachel and I sat on the velvet couch, sipping coffee, making small talk to distract me from my nerves. And then, at 8:58, 2 minutes before I officially opened, someone knocked on the glass door. I looked up. A woman stood outside, mid-30s, professional-looking, brown hair pulled back in a ponytail. She was holding a purse and a coffee cup, looking uncertain. Rachel nudged me. "Go, that's your first customer." I stood up, smoothed down my blouse, and walked to the door. This was it. I unlocked it and opened it with what I hoped was a confident smile. "Hi," I said. "Welcome to Lily's studio. We officially open at 9, but you're welcome to come in." The woman smiled, relieved. "Oh, thank you. I'm sorry, I know I'm early. I'm Emma. I have a 9 o'clock appointment." "Emma, my first official client." "Yes," I said, probably too enthusiastically. "Come in, please. I'm Lily. It's so nice to meet you." Rachel gave me a thumbs up and slipped out quietly, leaving Emma and me alone in the salon. I led Emma to the styling area, gestured to one of the chairs. "Have a seat. Can I get you coffee, water, tea?" "I'm good, thank you," Emma said, setting her own coffee cup on the counter. "I brought my own." I draped a cape around her shoulders, fastened it at the neck. And then I did what I always do. I met her eyes in the mirror. "So, Emma," I said, "tell me what you're thinking today. What are we doing with your hair?" Emma bit her lip, reached up and touched her ponytail. Her hair was long, past her shoulders, maybe to the middle of her back. Light brown with some natural highlights from the sun. "I want to cut it," she said quietly. "Like, really cut it, short." I nodded, staying neutral, encouraging. "Okay, how short are we talking? Just above your shoulders, chin length, shorter than that." She took a breath. "Chin length, maybe a little shorter. I've had long hair my whole life and I need a change." There was something in her voice, a tremor, like this wasn't just about hair. It never is. I pulled up a stool and sat down next to her, so we were at eye level instead of me standing over her. "Can I ask," I said gently, "what's prompting the change? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but sometimes it helps me understand what you're looking for." Emma's eyes filled with tears. She laughed, embarrassed, wiping at them with the back of her hand. "God, I'm sorry. I told myself I wasn't going to cry." "Hey," I said, handing her a tissue from the counter. No judgment here. This chair has seen a lot of tears. Happy tears, sad tears, frustrated tears. Whatever you're feeling is okay. She nodded, took the tissue, dabbed at her eyes. I'm getting divorced. Well, I'm in the middle of it. My husband, ex-husband, he loved my long hair, like really loved it. He used to say it was his favorite thing about me. And I realized recently that I've been keeping it long for him. For years. Even now, even though we're separated, I've been keeping it because, I don't know, some part of me was still trying to be what he wanted. Her voice got stronger, more determined. But I don't want to be that person anymore. I want to be me, and I don't even know what that looks like yet, but I know it doesn't look like this. She gestured to her long hair. So I want to cut it off, all of it. I want to start over. I felt this rush of emotion. This is why I do this work. Not just to cut hair, but to be part of these moments of transformation, of someone deciding to be brave. I think that's incredibly courageous, I said quietly, and I would be honored to be part of your fresh start. Emma smiled, tears still in her eyes. Thank you. Okay, I said, standing up, shifting into professional mode. Let me show you some options. I grabbed my tablet and pulled up some reference photos. Short bobs, angled cuts, textured styles. We spent about 10 minutes looking through options, talking about her face shape, her hair texture, her lifestyle. I work in an office, she explained. So I need something professional, but I don't want to look too conservative. I want to feel, I don't know, bold, different. Got it, I said. I'm thinking an asymmetrical bob. Shorter in the back, longer in the front, angled toward your face. It's modern, professional, but definitely makes a statement. I showed her a photo. Her eyes lit up. Yes, she said. That, exactly that. All right, I said. Let's do this. I led Emma to the shampoo bowl, had her lean back. The warm water ran over her hair, and I worked in the shampoo, a rosemary mint blend, invigorating and fresh. This smells amazing, Emma said, eyes closed. It's one of my favorites, I said, massaging her scalp, working the shampoo through to the ends. How's the pressure? Too hard, too soft? Perfect, she murmured. I rinsed, applied conditioner just to the ends, rinsed again, wrapped her hair in a towel. Back at the styling chair, I combed through her hair, detangling gently. It was thick, healthy, good to work with. Okay, I said, sectioning her hair with clips. Last chance to change your mind. Once I make this first cut, we're committed. Emma met my eyes in the mirror. I'm ready. I picked up my scissors. I cut a section at the back, just below her shoulders. A thick ponytail of hair, maybe 8 inches long. It fell away, and Emma gasped. I held it up. Want to keep this. Some people like to donate it. Yes, she said immediately. Donate it. Let someone else get use out of it. Perfect. I have the information for a donation program. I'll pack it up for you after we're done. And then I got to work. I sectioned her hair carefully, working from back to front, creating the angle, shorter in the back, gradually longer as I moved toward her face. Snip, 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 hair falling around her like rain. I worked methodically, checking the angle constantly, making sure both sides were even, using my comb to measure, my scissors to sculpt. Emma watched in the mirror, her expression shifting from nervous to fascinated to excited. Oh my God, she breathed as the shape started to emerge. I can see it, it's really happening. It's happening, I confirmed. I continued cutting, refining the shape, adding texture with point cutting, softening the edges so it wouldn't look too blunt or severe. The back came up to just below her occipital bone, the bump at the back of the head. The front pieces hit just below her chin, angling down to frame her face. I stepped back, looked at her from different angles, checked the balance. Okay, I said. Let me blow it out and style it, and then we'll see the final result. I blow-dried her hair smooth, using a round brush to create a slight bend at the ends, making it swing and move. The cut was perfect. Sharp, modern, flattering. It completely changed her face, made her cheekbones more prominent, her eyes bigger, her whole presence more striking. I applied a tiny bit of styling cream, ran my fingers through to add texture and separation. And then I turned off the blow dryer. "Okay," I said, "ready." Emma nodded, but her eyes were closed, like she was afraid to look. I spun the chair around so she faced the mirror. "Open your eyes," I said gently. Emma opened her eyes, and her hands flew to her mouth. "Oh my God," she whispered. "Oh my God." She stared at herself, turning her head side to side, watching the hair swing and move. She touched it, ran her fingers through it, lifted the back to see the angle. She blinked rapidly, eyes filling with tears. "I look different." "You look incredible," I said. "I look like me," she said, her voice breaking. "Like who I'm supposed to be. Does that make sense?" "It makes perfect sense," I said quietly. Emma stood up, still staring at herself in the mirror. She shook her head, watching her hair move, and she started laughing. Not nervous laughter, pure, joyful laughter. "I can't believe I waited this long to do this," she said. I feel free." She turned to me, grabbed my hands. Thank you so much. This is exactly what I needed." "Thank you for trusting me," I said. "Especially on my opening day. You're my first official client and you made it pretty special." "Your opening day," Emma's eyes widened. "I'm your first client ever." "In this salon, yes. First one through the door." "Well then," Emma said, squeezing my hands, "I think this is the start of something really wonderful for both of us." After Emma left, with her donated ponytail packaged up and a huge smile on her face, I stood in the empty salon, looking around. The morning sun was streaming through the windows. The mirrors reflected the clean, beautiful space I'd created. The chair where I'd just given my first cut still had a few stray hairs on the cape. And I just took a breath. I'd done it. My first client in my own salon, and it had been perfect. Not perfect in a technical sense. I'd probably been a little too cautious with the angle, a little too worried about messing it up. But perfect in the way that mattered. I'd helped someone transform. I'd been part of Emma's fresh start. And that's what this was all about. My phone buzzed, a text from Emma. "I can't stop looking at myself in every reflective surface I pass. I feel amazing. Thank you for being part of my new beginning. You're going to change so many lives, Emma." I sat down in my styling chair and called Victoria. She answered on the first ring. "How did it go?" "It went perfectly," I said, and then I started crying. Happy tears, relief tears, proud tears. "Tell me everything," Victoria said. And I did. That was 3 years ago. Since then, I've cut hundreds of people's hair in this space. I've given pixie cuts to cancer survivors, helped teenagers find their style, transformed brides on their wedding days, given fresh starts to people going through divorces, breakups, career changes, identity transformations. But Emma will always be special, because she was first, because she trusted me when I was terrified, because she reminded me why I do this work. Opening your own business is scary. Hell, doing anything new is scary. But the thing about fear is that it usually means you're about to do something important. Something that matters. If you're sitting on a dream right now, if you're thinking about taking a leap but you're scared, I get it. I was there. I almost didn't open this salon because I was so afraid of failing. But here's what I learned. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to be willing to feel the fear and do it anyway. Next episode, I'm going to tell you about a client who taught me one of the hardest lessons I've ever learned. About a haircut that didn't go the way I planned, and what happened when I had to admit I'd made a mistake.